Hey guys, it's John from the BusyCast. I am joined by Martin Waller. This is part of a series of videos, showcase videos looking at his Golden Demon, either entrant or winning models. It's all been put into a nice little playlist, so you can watch all of them together, so have a bit of a binge. We talk about each of the models, and then there's a few tips and stuff in there as well. And right now we're going to talk about two models at the same time. We're going to be talking about, Martin.
Yeah, double whammy. We're going to have the fancy Dwarf, Dwarf Lord, and also Gandalf the Grey from the Lord of the Rings of the Hobbit line. So both of these, we've included them in the same video, mainly because they were both impulse purchases up at Warhammer World. I've always loved the little Dwarf Lord. I think he's a really characterful mini. He's tiny, he's absolutely minuscule, and he's quite cheap. He's only £8.
Oh wow! Okay.
And he was metal, so I love metal miniatures. So he was a bit of an impulse buy. I just wanted to make sure I got him before he got discontinued. And then Gandalf was another one. Initially I wanted to do something for the Lord of the Rings category, and initially I was going to do the Master of Lake Town. I think it's played by Stephen Fry in the films. But I looked at the miniature and it was tiny, because obviously Lord of the Rings miniatures are a different scale, slightly different scale to 40k in fantasy. So that came a bit of a shock when I actually saw the miniature itself. I was like, wow. Gave up on that one immediately, and saw Gandalf, so I thought I'd give that a go. So.
And have these been entered into competitions?
Yeah, they were both entered into Golden Demon Classic at Warhammer Fest a couple of months back. Both received finalists pins, which I was quite happy about. Obviously, the standard in Lord of the Rings single, normally they get quite sort of a small number of entrants in comparison to other categories. Yeah. But the standard is always phenomenal. So you're sort of pitting yourself really up against the best. And then fantasy single, again, huge amounts of models in that category. Yeah. Especially with all the new Age of Sigmar models and all that sort of stuff. It was huge. So yeah, there was some fierce competition. So yeah, really happy to get finalists for both of them.
Definitely. And so we'll talk about the models a little bit. We'll start with Gandalf, I guess. So what's special about this model? I like, again, you've got the water-based thing, which we talk about in another video if you want to know how that sort of worked out. But you've got some ripples in there as well. How did you get the ripples?
Basically, with the base, I wanted to sort of do it, sort of scenic, sort of looking like the Shire. Originally my plan with the Master of Lake Town was going to have him stood on a pier above some water, so I sort of carried it on a similar sort of theme, and just sort of changed the surround to make it more like, Hobbit, Shire. Yeah. The water again was done the same way as on the Deathwing Terminator. Again, titanium masking tape, and then just filled it up with magic water. And then the ripples were Woodland Scenics realistic water.
Okay.
Which is sort of like a gel, it's like toothpaste. When you put it on, it's pure white. But obviously you can just sculpt it and shape it into what you want it to be. Yeah. And then once it dries perfectly clear. So yeah, it sort of worked out quite well. It was just to give a bit of interest into the water, because otherwise it's just sort of flat level, and it loses that sense of realism. Which obviously, if you're trying to portray that with this miniature, which I was, you want everything to be on point.
Cool. And then with the Dwarf, you've got little bits of cobwebs and stuff, and then also little bottles. Yeah. So how did they come about?
The Dwarf, I wanted, a sort of theme. I looked at him, I looked at the miniature, and I thought, I wanted him to sort of stood in a tavern, like a dwarven tavern. When I bought it, I was sat looking at him in Bugman's Bar at Warhammer World, and I was sort of thinking, it'd be cool to have him stood on some wooden decking, with sort of smashed bottles and stuff surrounding him. That's what I went for. Green stuff, wooden planks. So that's all just green stuff putty, which I made from a mould from a resin base. So I used magic mould, I think it's called, to make a relief of that. Then green stuff mould, and then painted the green stuff. And then the bottles were from an Empire kit, which my friend Alan, gratefully sent me. Stuck them next to a barrel. And then away we go. The broken bottle I did, I cut the neck off one of the Empire bottles, drilled it out, which was a bit of a pain because trying to make it, realistic.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, you can't just put a hole in it. You need to make sure the whole thing's hollowed out, and then just added the neck of the bottle, and also little shards of paper, of plastic that I used from a blister pack.
Yeah.
And just cut a tiny little shards and added that to it as well, just to sort of simulate the broken glass.
And how these cobwebs are amazing. How did you do those?
Yeah, the cobwebs were done with Yoo-hoo glue, which is your yellow glue from you can get from all good hobby shops. And essentially, if you just get a tiny bit on the end of your thumb and just sort of put your fingers together like that,
yeah,
it'll start to go all stringy within a couple of seconds.
Right.
And it gives you a couple of seconds of working time to try and wrap it around the things that you need.
Right. Okay.
So the longer you leave it, the matter it is, and the more sort of old spider webs and dusty and cobweb. You can use the same effect for slime. So if you can you see some people have got like sort of saliva hanging from tyrannids' mouths, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Just add a little dot of Yoo-hoo glue, and then you can add another string to another tooth, and it will set clear,
That's
solid.
really cool.
So,
okay.
and once you've done that, you can then add some water effect over the top to make it shiny.
Nice.
So yeah, Yoo-hoo glue, it's the way ahead, definitely.
Cool. And what was your biggest takeaway from these two models in terms of the learning experience?
Yeah, I mean the Dwarf was a sort of a masterclass in non-metallic metal.
Right.
So the whole thing is done with non-metallic metals, and you know it's just a sort of a adventure into sort of directional lighting, and just all different textures. So from the wood to the sort of the beard and the helmet next to him, and just how small he is, because he is really really tiny. So just to make sure all the tiny little details are done. So for example, like the non-metallic metal ring on his finger, little things like that, thumbnails, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just an exercise in working as small as I possibly could. And then Gandalf, again, to try and stay as realistic as possible, and stand true to the film, and trying to make something 28mm scale look like Ian McKellen from the film is quite a difficult thing to do, but nearly managed to pull it off.
Cool, very cool. Right, Dan has a question. Dan behind the camera.
Yeah, since for this one you've got two up to show at the same time, which one's your favourite?
I think I'd have to say the Dwarf Lord out of the pair. Like I say, I've always loved that miniature. I think just the whole sort of grumpy look of him. It's full of character for something so small. Gandalf, like I said, was a bit of an impulse thing. And as much as I sort of love the films, he's definitely never going to top the Dwarf Lord, I don't think.
I like the Dwarf Lord as well. I think that's my favourite.
Yeah.
Not of everything you brought today, but
he's definitely up there.
Other fantasy stuff. Yeah. Very cool. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Obviously, this is part of a series of videos, so you can check all those out there in a playlist together. The next video coming up is the last one, but I think it's the best model there is. It's incredible, so make sure you watch that. Thank you so much for watching. If you can like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is massive. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.